So, good afternoon, good days. If you're watching this in the morning, so good day everyone. Okay, let's talk about introduction to electrical and electrical system. This is for the architectural students. So this is under ARC 214. It is electrical, electronics, and mechanical system. So since you are an architecture student, so I'm going to introduce you about electrical systems in architecture perspective. Okay, what's our objective on this course? So at the end of the topic, you will learn the importance of this course to architecture and a little bit about of history of electrical or electricity. Where did it start? Although we all know that some of the scientists or philosopher already been known to us, but let's see on who started the theory of electricity and how electricity is produced. So most of us know that electricity came from a power plant. But how does a power plant produce electricity? So electrical for architecture. Why do an architectural students need to learn about electrical? So since electrical is part in every design of any establishment, houses, even industrial settings. So an architect needs to know what is it in electrical, what is an electrical, or how to design electrical in every building. Because as for me, electrical or architect will design a building that has a quality and also has a beauty. And to make your design a lot more beautiful, you need to know all the systems integrated in a building, either residential, commercial, or even industrial building. Because if you don't know how to design electrical or electronic systems, it might come out that your building will become a joke. You have a very beautiful building with a bad electrical layout. We were going to put those lights at the center, or you had too much light in every floors, and your outlet is just below the standard. Or even during construction of the building, your engineer, an electrical engineer, or your installer, or the way you install is they will going to make fun at you because you don't know. So this topic or this subject will teach you some of the basic and engineering knowledge that you need to learn in order to build, construct, design a very beautiful residential, commercial, or industrial building. So why do we need to study electrical? First is the cost and design. So architect design buildings and electrical systems are part of the building they design. So in order to create a very beautiful settings or very beautiful projects, you need to know how to manage those electrical systems and other systems that need to be incorporated in such designs. And of course, some of the architects are also the owner of their construction. So you can easily estimate the cost of the building that you're going to construct. The second is the reliability. So to create a consistent, beautiful building designs. So every known architect knows how the basic of electrical design. How to do the basic of electrical designs. Even those just a designer, they are not the owner of the construction, they know how to do the basic. And when they talk, or you as yourself, when you talk about electrical designs and talk with the engineers who are doing that design or installing the electrical system in the building, you will understand if they doing it on the right way and based on the standard that has been set by every organization related to the discipline. For example, for the electrical, the in Philippine setting, the Philippine Electrical Code. And lastly, its efficiency. How efficient you're going to use electrical in a certain building. As what you can see, if you can use electrical systems efficiently, you can maximize the area or the building design. Just like some of the building in Dubai, they use a system, the windmill, but they change the design of it. If you're going to look at the building, it's look like just an ordinary design that's spinning around on the building, but actually it's a wind energy device that they incorporate to the design to make the overall building beautiful. They even use a solar panel inside the building, or solar panels as walls, or even solar panels as their window. But the overall design, it will become very beautiful, and they maximize the area using those kind of designs. Now, before going to talk about some of the theories behind electricity, so let's talk about a little bit of its history. Where does electricity came from? So most of the things that it came from, what, Alexander Graham Bell, Maxwell, but actually electricity has been for us since 2750 BC, where they found an ancient Egyptian text that ancient Egyptian used a electric fish that they call sometimes a thunder of the Nile as their electricity. If you can view the texts, you will see that there is somewhat lights or something they put to use the power or the electric fish into a good use. And also somewhere in 600 BC, they call it the tiles of Miletus. So on that time, they're using a static form of electricity wherein they rub a wool and a amber, or as we all know in basic physics, that if you rub those two type of material, you're going to produce an static electricity. So at 600 BC, they already done it. Then, way back on 1752, Sir Benjamin Franklin, the Benjamin Franklin before he been in politics, and we have known him in the electrical world as the one who flew the kite on his experiment on the kite during a storm. As the storm hit its kite, there's a metallic key that was attached to the kite, and it lights up. Because of this, Benjamin Franklin proved that thunder or lightning is an electricity. So a further study made by Alessandro Volta. So his family name was now used as unit in electricity, the volts. He was the first one to invent the electric battery. Then Michael Faraday, or Faraday's theorem, the one who made the Faraday's theorem, he invented the first electric motor. That's a very simple electric motor. Then, as we go on to the history of electricity, in 1832, Hippolyte Pixii built the first AC electric generator that is based on Faraday's work, capable of delivering power for industry. A big generator that produces AC. Then the famous Thomas Edison was able to light an electric bulb in his laboratory last 1879. And because of this, he was the first, or his company was the first one to light up a building using DC electricity. And in 1886, Nikola Tesla finished or invented the electric alternator. So one of my idols in electrical world is Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Nikola Tesla pushes for a AC electricity to be used, while Thomas Edison pushes DC electricity. Because of these two, on that time, there's a war between an AC and DC, who's you going to use. And finally, the people decided, or the engineers decided to use AC because of a lot of reasons. One is that AC can be transmitted on a larger scale and can be transmitted very far distances, while DC generated electricity can only be transmitted for about a mile or two. So that is one of the winning perspective or winning points for an AC electricity. That is why we are using AC electricity. Then the first windmill was installed on the Danish coast on 1956, a 200 kilowatt windmill. Then in the near future, there are a lot of research and researches on advancement in electrical generation and utilization, like in solar, wherein we don't need any more moving parts, and all this solar is one of the best electricity generator that has been produced. But as of now, it is not so recommended, even the inventor itself, because of the area that it occupying. Yes, the area it occupies. Then, as what you can see, previously the electrical generation is costly, but as time goes on, it becomes cheaper and cheaper. And also the utilization of the electrical, from what a simple motors to now complex into a robotic systems. So that is for the future of the electrical. Now let's go for how does electricity is produced. So how do you think? So electricity is produced using this type of technology. So they found out, the inventors found out that if you're going to cut a magnetic line by a conductor, it produces a voltage on it. So as bigger, or as plenty magnetic flux has been cut, the higher the voltage will be produced. As what you can see on this presentation, or this GIF, so what you can see on this GIF, this blue one are the magnetic flux that was produced by this material. This is a magnetic material, a ferromagnetic material. So as the conductor, this red one that is been turning cuts the magnetic flux, it produces electricity, which delivered to a resistor, as shown in these figures. That is the basic of electricity, whether it's an AC or a DC. But as you can see, you can produce this electricity using an AC generator. Yes, there's a device that you're going to put in order to produce a AC power or AC electricity. So there are a lot of sources of energy or electricity that has been used. There are two major types. The first one that we are called, or that first one that has been called, is the conventional source of energy. So what is this conventional source of energy? So the conventional source of energy, these are energy that has been used since before, or these are energy that is non-renewable type. So the old technology of energy generation, that is the conventional source of energy. What are these? These are like oil and fuel, the diesel energy, or the coal energy, and the limestone. Limestone, they can use energy through limestone. The other form of energy is what we call the non-conventional source of energy. So these are the renewable ones, which are the solar, the wind, the water, and other forms. And maybe some of you can discover another form of renewable energy. So these are the two major, very major sources of energy. So do you have any question? No? So if no question, that's for this first presentation. Hope to see you on my next presentation. Thank you.